scrolling.
Okay.
Oh, iPhone. There.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to spotlight it now for
There.
everybody. Okay, I've started
Make
recording.
a wish.
Okay, so you get a twofer if you cut it in half like this. You don't have to do this, but it makes a nice, this is the example of the card when it's finished. But because this can be quite busy, you know, it's kind of nice to add a little bit of either black or white space or whatever your card blank is to add to it. Okay. So this is what we're going to be doing today. So I think we're pretty much all here now. So I'm gonna get started. So, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna mute everybody. And then if you have a question, just unmute yourself, okay? Does that work for everybody?
Yeah.
Actually, before we get started here, now that I think about this, I'm gonna get Tammy to show her examples from last night. She just put hers up. So.
Where are you, Tammy?
I'll spotlight her here.
Oh, you're gonna spotlight her.
There we go.
Oh my
Tammy.
goodness.
Oh, wow.
Holy
Very
moly, that's beautiful.
Very nice.
And that's nice too. Wow.
Good, good. Oh, and another one.
Oh, and that's, oh, wow.
You went to town.
Yeah. Good
You're
stuff.
a pro. Holy
Nice job,
moly.
nice job. Does anybody have any more that they would like to show from last night that they
Is
finished?
this those nouveau drops?
Yours.
What was
Is this
that?
what those nouveau
Yep.
drops do?
It's that
Yes,
Eileen
that's what
put
those
those
new
yours.
drops do. Yeah.
I want some of that then.
Card yet, but the one that she had done, so that you
Here
can
comes
see.
Eileen's. Eileen finished hers, so I'll just pop that one up again.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
that one is gorgeous too.
Yeah, that's
That is
really
so cool.
nice.
That's a really neat stencil. I really like
I
it.
like that. That's the one I think Ethel ordered for us.
Yeah,
Very cool. Nice job, Eileen. Nice job.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Ladies, anybody else want to show? They finished up? Okay. All right, then. So we'll go back to spotlighting here. So everybody can see.
You're spotlighted.
I'm spotlighted. There we go. Okay, everybody's going to be muted and you'll be able to unmute yourself if you have a question. Okay, so as I said, we're going to be starting with an embossing folder. So what you'll need some mirrored cardstock. See, nice and shiny, 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 shiny. An embossing folder, Versamark or some sort of embossing medium. So some sticky glue. Some people have the Wow Pad. I know Tammy uses the Boss one, which is by Colorbox, I believe. You will need some embossing powder. And if you have it, it's a really good idea to have a embossing buddy or some cornstarch or baby powder. That will help to make your paper less staticky so that your embossing powder only goes where you want it to. That's what this tool does here. Okay. So, and somebody asked me last night if the embossing or if the Versamark will stick to your embossing folder. It doesn't. This is the one that I used last night. I just wiped it down with the baby wipe and it's not sticky at all anymore. So, just to reassure you that you won't be destroying anything. Okay. You'll also want to have a heat tool nearby, and you will want your die cutting machine ready to go for whatever sandwich you use for embossing folders. Okay, so the first thing that what I'll do again today is I will do the technique all the way through, and then I'll do another one with you guys so that we can walk through the steps again. Okay, again, if you have any questions, please unmute yourself and ask as I'm going along. So I'm going to start with my embossing buddy here. It's on the desk. There we go. And I'm just going to tap it on here. And you'll notice it sort of leaves a bit of a film. You don't have to worry about that. That will come off. Okay. Then I'm going to open my embossing folder. And I'm going to choose the side that has the raised edge. Now you can use either side. The only thing that you have to remember then is you want to make sure that the foiled part of your cardstock is touching the part that you embossed, okay, that you use your Versamark on. So I'm going to do it on the top part here. When I do the next one, I might try doing it backwards with the leaves to be embossed. Okay. Now, what you want to do is gently, you're going to rub your embossing, your Versamark or whatever medium it is that you're using, your spongy glue adhesive. Okay. And you don't want to push it really deep because you don't want it to get down into the crevices. You just want it to be touching the top part. So we want to make sure that we're just kind of rubbing without pushing really deep. Again, this is the same technique as last night. We don't want to be squishing, you know, we want to be doing a nice light tapping. Okay. Then that's the side that has my embossing, my Versamark on it. So I'm going to put my cardstock in here and I'm going to, so pretty side up, and I'm going to close this together. And when you've closed this, you want to try not to smudge it. So try not to move it around. Okay. And I'm going to run this through my machine. Make sure I got a good impression, which I did. Yay. Okay, pretty cool. So now that I've got a card blank, some tweezers, I don't want to burn myself here. Okay. And I'm just going to dump on. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure that every place that you've put your embossing powder is being covered. This isn't any different than any other time that you've embossed, essentially. Give it a good tap. Get all your goodies back together here. I should have grabbed a bigger card blank. Now, you can sort of see where it has gone, where the embossing powder is gone. So now I'm just gonna heat her up and see what happens here. Probably not, because I just plugged that in. Pause for technical difficulties. Okay. Just make sure I didn't burn myself here. All right. And it has embossed. Now the side that I chose did not have a lot of frontage, but you can just sort of see. So the original cardstock was copper. Now you can see that there's a little bit of a gold sheen to it. So in some of the deeper crevices where the stems of the, so the gold embossing is all now outlining my leaves. That's the technique in a nutshell, easy peasy. So it's basically any kind of embossing that you've done before. I'll walk you guys through the next one, and then I'll put this together and make a card so that you can see how you might want to put it together. Okay. So before I start, does anybody have any questions on any of that? On anything that happened or something that I went through too quickly?
I have a question because I do not have a clear, whatever that clear stamp you used.
The Versamark?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you use any stamp?
You could use a pigment ink. It will also color your mirrored cardstock, but your embossing powder will stick to a pigment ink. Okay. That's about the only thing that will stick.
I will just watch and I will eventually get that.
Okay.
Thank you.
If I'd known that, Judy, you should have told me. I had an extra one. I would have put it in that box for you.
Oh, well, I didn't.
So my quick question is, I know you said it, but Kevin was doing something for me, so he was sort of distracting me. That's okay. And I'm sticking to it. So, like, of course, one side's bumpier, like.
Yep.
So, is that the side I'm trying to figure out, because this one doesn't have any writing on it, so I can't figure out which side I'm supposed to use to.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm in the same boat.
Okay, so when you're looking, so for example, this one has when I'm looking at this, okay.
Yeah.
This is the print. These are my leaves. Sorry, let me see if I can get this up there. There we go. So these leaves, when I go here, like I can feel where the leaf is raised. I can pull my nail on it. I want this part to be on the back because it's going to push the leaf up.
Okay.
And then this is that is technically the front. Okay. So this part where I can hang my nail off of the leaf, that's the back.
That's the back where you can lift. Okay.
Yeah. Because this is the image that I want to come up through my paper. Now this time for mine, I'm actually going to turn mine around because I want to emboss my leaves instead.
Oh.
So that's going to be the front. This is going to be the top. So I want gold on these things and the copper around it instead. But here, when I do this, like I can put my fingernail into the leaf. So this is the back of the paper will be pushed up into this area. So that makes this the front. Does that make sense, Bev?
Yeah, so the part that is indented is the front, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put an F on here right now.
Yeah, because the paper gets pushed up into that. That's the embossing. Okay. The other way is debossing, where the paper gets pushed down into it.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Does that work for you, Gail? You got that?
Yes, yes, thank you. That was a big help because I couldn't figure out, they both seem so much, and then that
was
really helped.
I have several where there's no name on them, and they're clear. So like this one's handy because it's got the black on the front. That's the front.
Yeah.
But I do have one. So that's what you do is you push your nail or your finger, it doesn't have to be, but I like with the nail because I know, okay, I'm hanging on to it. I can't go any further. That means that's the back.
Yeah.
If I can push through here and my nail sinks into the leaf or my shape, that's the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I think I got it. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so everybody grab your cardstock, your embossing folder, and your embossing buddy or your cornstarch. So we're going to start with that. We're going to put our cornstarch, our embossing buddy onto our cardstock. Okay. Give it a generous coating. And turn mine around. Once you're finished with that, you're going to take your Versamark and you're going to put it on whichever side of your embossing folder you've decided you want to be the top. Okay, if you're doing if you're starting with a regular one, I would start with the front as the regular front. Okay, start that way, and you're just going to go along and gently tap or wipe your Versamark or your embossing pad on to your embossing folder so that there is a transfer. Now, and of course, because it's a clear ink, you can't see it really well, but you should be able to, in the light, be able to see a bit of a film. Okay. Everybody has embossed their embossing folder. You put your adhesive, your sticky stuff on it. And you're going to put your paper into your embossing folder with the shiny side facing your Versamark that you've just put on, okay? Because you want the adhesive, the sticky stuff to stick to the front or the pretty shiny side of your cardstock. Okay. Close up your embossing folder and run it through your die machine. that's not what I want.
Not going through. Why are you not going through? Oh. Mine does not want to go through with these plates. Okay. Let me see if I got a thinner plate.
Here comes Donna.
Okay, let's see if it'll go through on this thing. Is that going to be enough?
Bev, you need the one that has your normal base plate, and then it's got the things that come on, like that flip over.
Yeah, and I got it opened all the way.
Okay.
But it still wouldn't go through.
Okay. Is it a 3D embossing one then?
Yeah, it might be.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try the precision plate underneath it because it's a little thinner.
Okay. Yeah.
See if that'll make a sound.
Corinne, mine cut just about right through.
Okay.
I'm still not going through.
Just a sec.
You got the right size plate, Bev?
Yeah.
Remember, B is for embossing.
Yeah, I know, but I don't. Cutting pad, cutting. It just tells me to use my
Were
cutting
you using
pad.
a 3D embosser there, Linda? Or just a regular embossing pad?
Mine, I'm supposed to use the B for embossing.
Yeah.
C is for cutting.
Yeah, this one's different.
Bev, do you have the knock-knock plate?
The knock-knock plate?
Yeah, the knock-knock. Do you remember me telling you about the knock-knock?
The squish one?
The squishy and the knock-knock?
Just a second. I have the crease pad and the squishy.
Okay, instead of using, use the crease pad and the squishy with one of your bottom plates. Have it fully open, try that.
So I'm gonna use this piece for. Okay, so I'm gonna put this down.
Yeah.
Then
your embossing folder.
Then my embossing folder.
Yeah, and then a top plate. So is the pink one your top plate, like your regular plate?
A clear one is my regular plate.
Okay, yeah, put a clear one on top then, and try and run that through.
Okay.
On your bottom platform.
Yeah.
See if it's thin enough now to run through.
This is interesting, Corinne.
Yeah.
It's not. It's
I don't know.
Through.
Okay, try taking the squishy out.
Oops. I just put the I just had put the
crease pad.
That's all I had there. Let's try just the squishy.
Yeah, try just the squishy. And if that won't work, actually just try running it right on top of your base plate with a cover plate.
Yeah, I think I tried that and it was too thin.
Too thin. Okay.
Okay, I think this is going to work.
Good.
Corinne,
okay.
Mine.
Go ahead, Linda.
I don't know if you can see through,
I can't.
but it pretty well cut through the leaves.
Okay, let me just get.
I don't know if you can see.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it, and then you can tell, I guess I didn't go over lightly enough because it didn't, the embossing powder pretty well took to everything. So I don't know if that's because it's an alley embossing folder.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try it again.
Mm-hmm. Try it with using something with a little less pressure. The other thing that you can try and do is, in order to have your paper get a little bit more, what's the word that I'm looking for? To have a little bit more pliability, you can take a damp cloth with hardly any moisture in it, or a baby wipe or something like that, and run it across the back of your paper. Okay, so it will add enough moisture. So here, I'll just demo here. So just like this, we'll add enough moisture to hopefully be able to help you stretch the fibers of it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so for everybody else, for everybody that's waiting, you can go ahead and add your embossing powder and start heating it.
Oh, I went way ahead.
Good, that's fine.
So on the Cuttlebug embossing folder, where it says Cuttlebug, that is the top, that is the part that you want to put your Versamark on?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, anything like, yeah, if it's got its name on it or it's got some writing, that will be the front of your embossing folder.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You betcha. Okay. If you would like, Donna, I can demo this again quickly for you if you want to follow along.
It's okay, my dear. I'm just going to try and catch up.
Okay. So the main thing that you want to think about is make sure that you use an embossing buddy or some cornstarch or something before you put your cardstock into the embossing folder. And then you want to put, very simply, you're just going to take your embossing ink and you're just going to do like this onto your embossing folder. Easy peasy. And now I have a second one, so I'll run that quickly. Yeah. Did it go through for you, Bev?
Yes, it did.
Okay, good. Let's run this through.
Corinne?
Yes?
So if I have embossing powder, like it's because I put too much Versamark. If I have,
say that again, Isabel.
If I have like embossing powder on the part where I don't think I was supposed to have embossing powder, it's because I pressed too hard.
Yes, you probably pressed too hard with your Versamark. However, what you can do, and I'll as I put my Versamark on this one, I'll show you what you can do. Sorry, once I put my powder on here. If you grab yourself a small fine-tipped paintbrush,
okay,
like this, you can actually brush it off in the areas where you don't want your powder to be.
Oh, that makes sense.
Before you heat emboss.
Okay, I'll try that. Because, yeah, I've got quite a few places where I don't think I should. Okay, I'll go grab that.
I mean, for me, yeah, you can, you know, there's this such thing as getting it absolutely perfect. But the truth is it's just shiny, shiny stuff. And so, you know, for me, I don't, you know, I'm of the opinion you can never have too much shiny. So, okay, so I've tried to push this into my leaves here. So there's a couple of places where I can see that it has come on top. So I can go here and I can brush it off with my little paintbrush here.
I'm gonna go do that.
Okay, let's put this here. Okay.
Corinne, I love it. It's
nice
amazing.
job, Gail.
Yeah, isn't that cool? Oh, I love this technique. Woo.
Okay, so if you guys would like, you can keep playing with that. And I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you how I put together the example or the card that I did so that you can see how simple this can be to put together a card utilizing these items. And so for me, what I think is this is a really beautiful, like elegant type card. It would be beautiful for Christmas. You know, sympathy cards would also be really lovely on this.
I think this would be nice for a wedding card.
Very nice for a wedding card, yes. Okay. So I'm going to take my little panel here and I'm going to trim it down a little bit, especially where the edges came of my embossing folder. Okay, now I've trimmed it down a wee bit, and I'm just going to take my panel just as it is right now, and those are the leaves that way. I'm going to put it in my cutter, and I'm just going to slice it on an angle. Now I'm going to get a twofer. Can't go wrong with a twofer. And let me see here. I'm going to go with the top one, and I'm going to give it a little bit of dimension. Can't go wrong with dimension either. And that's not going to work that way. So let's do here. So from the time that you start the process of, you know, doing your embossing buddy and the Versamark to throwing it, putting it through your machine, putting on your embossing powder, and then heating it, that's about, let's say, 5 minutes or so. Trim down your panel. Trim down your panel, put it on the card. Let me see here. Now I have just a little strip of cardstock because this looks a little too plain. You kind of want to finish it off a little bit here. So I'm going to measure it. A little bit of liquid adhesive. So and these are strips that I just cut off of my mirrored cardstock before I cut it down into the panels. I'm just gonna two again. Now, I want to put a sentiment on here, obviously, but let's say I don't have a die cut. Okay, this is what I was working with yesterday. This, and it cut out around my stickers that I cut out. So a die cut, and then it cut the shape or the bubble around it. But I don't have that for this particular die cut. So I have the die cut that says make a wish, and I stuck it onto here. So in order to make my own sentiment that has a little bit of shadow to it, I'm just going to go around it with a bit of a border, and I'm going to bubble cut it. So got a little too close there. Give me an idea. Oops. Gotta get at the end there. There we go. That's a little too sharp there. There we go. Okay. So there's one that I cut out myself. It's not all that different from the one with the die cut. So if you don't want to invest in the die cut with the shadow or the part underneath it, you can create your own. So, and I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to stick that down right there. Oh, come on. Okay, time trying to get the wrappers off of my two-sided tape doesn't count. Voila, one, let's say 10-minute card, all done. There we go. That's the technique and the card. And then I can do essentially the same thing. And now on the other card, I don't have another back, but I could either do this side, or again, I can turn it up and do this side and just have a larger white space on here because I didn't cut it exactly in half, but you don't necessarily need to. So this one actually has a pattern, so I don't necessarily know that I want my leaves to go upside down, but the diamond one that I used yesterday, that wouldn't make any difference. So I could just have two that are up top or a couple that are down below. If you cut and did, these would make a really nice set. Like if I did 4 of these would make really wonderful gratitude cards or thankful cards for the fall or something like that. And that'd be a really nice gift to give to someone. Or, come here, you. So I've got these 2 from last night. If I did some more in blue, those would be like if I did 2 more or 3 more, that'd be a nice set of 6 of cards that I could give to somebody doing birthdays, get well, really nice. And I forgot that I was going to show again with some more Nouveau drops, taking your handy dandy Nouveau drops. Because you just can't go wrong with a little bit of more bling. And again, we're just going to.
I see I got to get some heavy books to put it under after. Kind of curled.
Yeah, I did put my plates on the one that I used last night. Once you stick it down though, like the blue one, I used this, once I stuck it down, especially with my dimensional tape, it flattened out really quite nicely. So again, you can see with the Nouveau drops giving it a little bit of a tap how nicely it has spread out, and they are starting to level out and everything. So get a little closer here. And I'm gonna turn it around so everybody can see it the right way. No, that's still upside down. There we go. 1 card, 10 minutes. Bing, bing, bing. Actually, technically that would be 2 cards because I could put them together all at the same time. 2 cards in 10 minutes.
Oh, that's beautiful, Corinne.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? That they might have missed in, oops, shit, don't rub that off, I want to heat that up. That they might have missed during the technique, or that I went too quickly through. I know I can talk pretty quickly, so.
The, when you told me the writing is where you put the, like on the, it says writing, that's the front.
Yep.
Well, it's not.
It's not.
No, because look at,
yeah.
I like that though.
It's the opposite, because you want the bumps to get, like on this, you want, where am I here?
There you go.
Yeah,
so that,
where the green is, that's where you want the gold. That's the raised part.
Yes. but that is the front. That's why I turned mine around.
Yeah. So if
So
same here,
because your bumps
on the raised part, we put it on the back part. Is that it then?
Yes. So those bumps when you're using your embossing folder, normally those bumps is what you would want as the texture, right?
Yes.
So that is the front.
Yes.
So if you did it again, what I would do is turn your embossing thing around. That's what I did with my first example. So here's the two, right? So when you look at, oh, just a minute, let me spotlight this here. Let's go to RBI.
So I do it the opposite.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So, because I have the same thing, right? So normally what I would want is my leaves to be showing at the top, which is what happened here. So the leaves are the things that have the dimension, because this part of my embossing folder is at the front. So these push the paper up into and form the leaves.
Yeah.
So what I did secondly, because I wanted more embossing powder in my leaves instead of the size around it, what I did is I embossed the back part of my embossing folder and put it down like this. Okay.
Okay.
So the front, the writing, that is actually the front of your, or the front of your embossing folder.
Yeah.
But if you want the embossing, like the gold, to be on the part around it, you have to turn it around. You have to emboss, use your Versamark on this side, not the front.
Yeah, so I did it wrong. This doesn't quite seem right, but Corinne knows what she's talking about.
I mean, I like what it did. See, there's mine.
I'll go and see here. Just a minute. Cancel. Go to Bev. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's very pretty, Bev.
But I think I would have liked it, the raised part have the silver on it.
Yeah.
Right?
So what would be really cool is to now make a set of cards doing one with the embossing on the front and one with the embossing on the back, because they would be the same, but you would just have a different texture to them, right? That would be really nice, like as if you were doing a gift or something like that.
Yeah.
That would be really nice. So you can do it again. So it's a good idea, especially because I know everybody tends to forget these techniques and stuff. Do it again. Do it once or twice again. Flip them around. Try a different embossing folder or something like. Did anybody try it with a 3D one? Yours is 3D, right, Bev?
I think it is.
Okay. Yeah.
That's quite. Yeah. I don't know. And I that's why I was having a hard time getting it through. So then when I went to try and put this one through, of course, it didn't have enough pressure.
Right. Yeah.
The other. So I put the two plates on, and I made the mistake of putting it through and then back again. Yeah. So I had the same problem as you, Linda. It cut into it.
Yeah.
But I think that's because now because I put it. Well, I'd already put it through, and it didn't really have enough, and then I put it through and back again. So I just know put it through once. These ones, right?
Yep. Okay. So do you guys want to hold up your samples and we'll see what we got here?
I just did.
Okay, so Linda's, we've admired, oh my God, Eileen, just a second.
Let's see, Eileen. Can you, oh, that's
Look at
beautiful.
That. Oh my God, that's gorgeous. That is so pretty. Love it.
You are so talented.
I'm not quite done yet. Watching you.
Who's next? Tammy's got one she's ready to put up here for the thing.
I'm going to finish my card.
Ooh, that's cool. The Harlequin. That is so cool.
That's nice.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So you just used the black on that, right, Tammy? So it's silver foil with black embossing? Yeah, black sparkle. Yeah, cool. All right. Who's next? Does anybody have one they're ready to put up?
I'm going to finish mine first.
Here comes Gail.
Let's see, Gail.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Gail.
That's really turned out nice, Gail.
What color did you use for your embossing powder? You're muted. You guys can unmute yourselves now if you want.
For my embossing powder, For my embossing powder, I used, sorry, I have a hard time seeing these. Sorry, I can hardly.
Oh, you used one of these guys.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think it's like a copper.
Nice. The oil rubbed bronze or something, maybe like something like, yeah.
Yeah, I can't read it, but yeah,
It's on the lid. It's on the lid.
Yeah.
I know, but
yeah, they get wiped off pretty easy.
Yeah.
It doesn't stay on there very well.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, I can't read it.
Ooh. Donna, you were able to catch up? You got it? Got the gist? Awesome. Good.
Yeah, and Donna's is going to come out gorgeous.
Of course it will.
I'm not sure.
You're all gorgeous. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Nice.
Beautiful.
Let's see.
I
Go.
don't know.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, that's
That
really
turned out really great, Isabel.
It's so I'm not like it's only the third time I'm embossing, so I'm like I'm not sure if I embossed everywhere or if I need to keep going with the.
It looks like it.
It
What
looks
color
good.
did you use on yours, Isabel?
It's gold.
Gold on gold.
on silver.
Gold on silver, right?
Gold on
Gold on
silver.
silver.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as long as it doesn't look like powder anymore, like it's dried or it looks like it liquefied, then that means that you have embossed everything. If there's some that still looks like powder, you need to go back over it a little bit. But that turned out really well, Isabel.
Yeah,
it's really beautiful.
I did remove a bit of I did some brushing, but there was too much. I was like, okay, it's getting too much of with the paintbrush. So.
Yeah. No, but it looks really beautiful. It turned out really well.
No, it was good. I think I got it all.
Good. Yeah, looks
sorry,
good.
guys.
Roxanne, yours all worked out okay? You did good? Okay.
Seeing I didn't have
She's not going to show it?
Well, she doesn't have to. If she doesn't want to, she doesn't have to. I'm just checking. I'm
See?
checking in with everybody to make sure we're good.
Seeing I didn't have embossing powder, I tried just inking my things and did it 2 different ways. So this is what I came up with. I kind of like it.
Let's see here. Just a minute. Let me spotlight you here. Okay, go up.
That's good.
Oh, lovely.
With the ink, yeah.
And then this is reverse, right? Where it's embedded. Can you see the colors?
Yeah.
Yeah, the colors are embedded in.
Yeah.
So that would be the same idea, and then I would emboss that, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay.
So instead of like you put the ink on your embossing folder, instead you would use Versamark or whatever you have as your embossing medium.
Yep.
Okay, that's essentially, it's exactly the same technique. You're just using this instead of ink.
Okay. And then you need a color. I've only got, so if I only have clear, because that's all I've got, that's embossing stuff. It would dry too fast, right? If I put the ink on there and then tried embossing it, probably be dry too fast.
If you use a colored pigment and then clear, you would get color. It would be beautiful.
I know, but do you think running it through, I guess they'd have to, I'm trying to remember. Did you put the color ink and then did you put the embossing on and then run it through?
Nope.
You did it after. Yeah.
You would put your ink onto your embossing folder and then you run it through your machine.
And then
you put your embossing powder on.
Yeah.
However,
I think
because you're waiting for your heat tool, your ink will dry in the meantime.
Well, I realize that, but I'm just wondering, just doing the embossing, like if I did this, like I said, put my ink on, and as soon as I took it out, I put my clear embossing on, you think it would stick? You don't think it'd be too dry?
It will stick to your ink, yes. However, by the time, it may not still be stuck there by the time you're embossing.
Oh, I know that. I realize that. I'm not going to I'm going to wait till it comes. I just want to know that you think it would work.
Yes, your ink, especially because you're using, if you're using anything pigment and you're putting the clear embossing over it, it'll just make it really shiny. That'd be really cool, actually.
Yeah, okay.
That'd be neat.
Yeah, I just thought, I'll try putting ink on it just to see what it looks like.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Oh, Donna's got one to show. Yay.
Okay.
Here we go, just a minute. And spotlight for everybody. There we go.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Lovely.
That's nice.
That is.
Is that gold and copper?
It's actually a rose gold metallic with black.
Nice.
American
Oh.
thing black.
Oh, that looked really nice.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah, I tried
cool.
it with the gold and I didn't like it, so I redid it with black.
Yeah,
That looks really nice.
I like it. Looks really cool.
Thank you.
I was going to do a black card, but I think now I changed my mind. I think I'm going to do a white card, the base, the
There we
back.
go. Nice.
Corinne,
Good.
am
Heather,
I-
yours worked out, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I'm just matting them now. So as soon as they were kind of wobbly, so I'm just trying to flatten them and mat them.
Right.
And then I'll show you. You betcha.
Corinne, what am
Yes,
I
Linda.
doing wrong?
What do you mean? What are you doing wrong?
Okay, so I did the opposite of the
Yes.
first one,
Okay.
and none of the raised is being in with the gold embossing powder. Like it's
Okay.
all indented, or is
Uh-huh.
that what it's supposed to be?
Yes, because that's the part that is the top, right? Like that's the part that is the top of your that's the part that is catching your Versamark. Okay, so hold them
I guess
up
I'm
again.
not explaining it. Like
Hold
I
them up
want,
again. Hold them up again for me, please.
like I did the opposite, but they still turned out the same.
No, they're not.
No, they're different.
No, they're different.
Yeah.
I
Instead
know,
of the splotches.
but the raised part is not embossed.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
It's
okay.
the
It's the bottom that
indented-
got embossed. What color did you use?
Gold.
Gold. Like it's the lower part that got embossed, not the high part.
That's weird.
Well,
both
it's
of
always
them.
going to be that because whatever you're embossing, like the high part, that's what's being pushed into the card.
Oh, so the high part is not supposed to be embossed.
It won't be, no, because
Okay,
it's being
so-
pushed into the card. You're not doing it wrong, Linda. It's
Okay.
but it's what gets pushed in, right? So it gets
Okay.
pushed to the bottom, and that's where your Versamark sticks to the paper. Then
Yeah.
you're not
Okay,
doing it wrong. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that the higher part was supposed to be the part where the gold embossing powder would stick to it.
That's
Yeah,
what I
no.
had thought too, Linda.
It would.
Okay, thanks, Beth. I'm going, what the hell?
So
No,
this one I did using the back part.
Just a minute, let me spotlight you.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
And that's what I wanted more so that I could, it wasn't I wanted the
Yeah.
postage parts or whatever you want to call it, looks a stamp looking. That's what I wanted to show up, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you did a really clear job. Like that's a really great embossing job there.
Ooh.
Like everything looks like really stands out really well. Nice.
Yeah. But I only went through once. I didn't go through there once in the back.
Yeah.
Because mine did the same as Linda's. It cut
through. Yeah. So Linda, if you did want the raised parts to get embossing thing on it, you'd have to jam your pad into so that it gets soaked down into the indents. That's how it would.
No,
it would work.
I understand now. I wasn't like.
Yeah, I was like you, Linda. I was thinking that.
Yeah. So I thought, okay, I'll do the opposite, and yeah. So.
Well, look at that. You'll have a lovely set of cards now, though.
Well, that's if I decide to make them into cards.
Okay. Well, whatever. They'll be really nice mats, actually, for a scrapbook page. For a really for a fancy one.
Yes.
For some pictures, like for like your daughter's prom or something, that would be a really nice matting for a picture.
Wrong colors.
Well, okay, well, whatever, but something like that. Nice wedding one or something.
Yeah. No, well, you know what this would be, because this is a giraffe kind of like embossing folder, giraffe spots.
Mm-hmm.
And with the green.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I could easily do Joanne's not there. I was gonna say I could do the dragon that she got.
Dragon would be nice on there. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Yeah, I was gonna say something lizardy would be really neat on there.
Yeah, the Tim Holtz dragon she got.
Ooh, fancy.
Pete's dragon. Yeah.
Joanne, you're still on mute, but I'm going to assume that that worked out okay for you.
Joanne, I don't think is there.
Okay.